Right now, in this exact moment, there are millions of people waking up and destroying their entire day in the first 10 minutes. They don't even realize it. They reach for their phone. They check notifications. They let their brain get hijacked by other people's problems before they've even used the bathroom. And by 9 a.m. they're already anxious, already behind, already exhausted. Meanwhile, there's a small group of people who wake up and do the opposite. They follow a set of habits so simple you'll think I'm joking. But these habits are backed by real neuroscience, real psychology, real studies on human behavior. In this video, I'll show you the 7 morning habits that science says will make you measurably happier, starting tomorrow morning if you're willing to actually use them. Let's get into it. 1. Don't touch your phone for the first 30 minutes. This is the one everybody ignores. And it's the one that matters most. When you check your phone the second you wake up, you flood your brain with information before it's even fully online. Your brain is still in a low-frequency state called theta, which is the same state associated with creativity and calm. The moment you open Instagram or your inbox, you yank your brain out of that state and into high alert. Researchers at the University of Texas found that just having your phone nearby, not even using it, reduces your available cognitive capacity. Now imagine what actually scrolling does before your brain has even woken up. Think about Steve Jobs. He famously limited his own kids' screen time at home, understanding something most people miss. The tool that built his empire was also capable of hijacking a mind if used carelessly. He guarded the first moments of his day and his family's days on purpose. Give yourself 30 minutes of silence before the noise starts. Your nervous system will thank you. 2. Get sunlight in your eyes within the first hour. This sounds too simple to actually work. But it might be the single most science-backed habit on this entire list. Your body runs on something called a circadian rhythm, an internal clock that controls your mood, your energy, and your sleep. And that clock is set every single morning by one thing: light hitting your eyes. Dr. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist at Stanford, has explained that morning sunlight triggers a release of cortisol at the right time of day, not the bad, stress-related cortisol spike, but a healthy morning spike that boosts alertness and mood. It also sets off a countdown clock in your brain that makes it easier to fall asleep that night, which means better mood the next day too. You don't need sunglasses. You don't need to stare at the sun. Just 10 minutes outside or near a window within the first hour of waking. That's it. That single habit can shift your entire emotional baseline for the day. 3. Move your body even for 5 minutes. You don't need a 90-minute gym session. You need movement. When you move your body, your brain releases endorphins and a protein called BDNF, which is basically fertilizer for your brain cells. It literally helps your brain grow new connections. Studies from Harvard Medical School have shown that even light exercise, like walking or stretching, can reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety as effectively as medication for some people. Some push-ups, a short walk, a few stretches. That's the minimum effective dose, and it's enough to shift your entire nervous system. 4. Make your bed. I know. This one sounds almost insulting in its simplicity. But hear me out. Making your bed is what psychologists call a keystone habit. A small action that triggers a chain reaction of other good decisions. It sounds too small to matter. But your brain doesn't measure the size of the task. It measures the completion of it. Every completed task, no matter how tiny, releases a small hit of dopamine, and dopamine is directly tied to motivation and mood. You're not just making a bed. You're proving to your own brain first thing in the morning that you follow through. 5. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. This one has been studied more than almost any other happiness habit on the planet. Dr. Robert Emmons, one of the leading researchers on gratitude, found that people who wrote down things they were grateful for on a regular basis reported significantly higher levels of happiness, better sleep, and even fewer physical symptoms of stress, compared to people who didn't. Here's why it works. Your brain has something called a negativity bias. It's wired to scan for threats and problems because that kept your ancestors alive. But that same wiring makes modern life feel heavier than it needs to be, because you're constantly noticing what's wrong instead of what's working. Gratitude forces your brain to override that bias. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about training your attention to notice what's actually good so your brain stops defaulting to what's bad. 30 seconds. 3 things. That's the entire habit. 6. Drink a full glass of water before anything else. While you were asleep for the last 6 to 8 hours, your body was still working, breathing, sweating, repairing itself. All of that uses water. And none of it was being replaced. So the moment you wake up, you're already mildly dehydrated. And here's what most people don't realize. Your brain is nearly 75% water. Even a 1 to 2% drop in hydration, which is completely normal after a night's sleep, has been shown in research from the University of Connecticut's Human Performance Lab to impair mood, memory, and concentration. Not extreme dehydration. Mild? The kind every single person wakes up with. That grogginess you feel in the first few minutes of the morning? Some of it is your brain literally running on empty. This is why so many high performers treat their first glass of water like a non-negotiable ritual. Not coffee. Water first. Because coffee is a diuretic, it actually pulls more water out of your system, which means if dehydration is already working against your mood, caffeine on top of it can make that initial fog worse before it gets better. One full glass before your coffee, before your phone, before anything else. It rehydrates your brain and rehydrates your mood at the same time. 7. Set one clear intention for the day. Before you get pulled into emails, messages, and other people's demands, take 60 seconds and ask yourself one question. What is the one thing that would make today feel like a win? Not your entire to-do list. One thing. Psychologists call this intentional living, and it's the difference between reacting to your day and directing it. Alexander the Great didn't wake up wondering what would happen to him that day. He woke up already knowing what he intended to conquer. That mindset, deciding your direction before the world decides it for you, is one of the most consistent traits found in people who report high life satisfaction. When you know your one target for the day, your brain filters out distractions automatically. You stop drifting. You start moving with purpose. None of these 7 habits are complicated. None of them require money, equipment, or hours of free time. That's exactly why most people skip them, because they seem too small to matter. But happiness isn't built in one giant leap. It's built in small, repeated decisions stacked morning after morning, until they become who you are. So tomorrow when your alarm goes off, you have a choice. You can reach for your phone like always. Or you can try even one of these 7 habits and see what happens. If this video helped you, do me a favor and subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel keep making content like this. I'll see you in the next one.